All right, this is chapter 14 of The Meaning of Maggie. Getting a B on my science fair project really wrecked me. Not only because B's were for losers, but because some idiot went on to win my blue ribbon. Jeremy Smith did some boring report on windmills and how they would solve the energy crisis. Yeah, right. The only thing that was going to solve the energy crisis was math, and a lot of it. The worst part? He didn't even have a ta-da moment. He just made a lame 3-panel board covered in a bunch of pictures. I just don't know what those judges were thinking. Didn't anyone have standards anymore? You think Albert Einstein ever made a 3-panel board? Of course not. He had awesome hair, and people with awesome hair only did awesome things. Just like Dad and me. Not only did that terrible B put me in the funk, it put my GPA in a funk too. I need to do some major studying and major extra credit to get it back up to my perfect 4.0. Luckily, spring break was coming up, so I had a whole 7 days to independently study until my eyeballs fell out. Now, you know how I feel about grades. This is not in the book, but if you can work hard, do your best, immerse. Remember the whole shine thing? Study hard, ST. Oh my gosh, I've been out of school too long. Study, STU. No, shine. SH. Study, ask for help or help someone else. Immerse, that's the I, immerse yourself. N, never give up. And E, do a little bit extra, go the extra mile. Give a little extra effort. Instead of reading for 20 minutes, read for 25. Just do a little extra. I think you'll shine. Now, does doing that mean you'll get straight A's? No. And what matters is that you're shining as bright as you can. Maggie is an interesting character. We see her as, I see her as someone who is, who thinks a lot of herself and has great expectations for herself and thinks one way is the only way. So hopefully she'll be a dynamic character in the story, and we'll see some change in her. I'm guessing we will. But all right, let's get back. I asked Miss Hanbury if there was anything I could do to get my science grade back on track. She said she'd give me bonus points on the final exam if I grew mold on bread and brought it in for our lesson on penicillin. I gladly accepted the challenge. When I got home from school on Friday, I commandeered all the bread from the kitchen. I stashed 2 loaves under my bed because mold grows in dark places, which I already knew even though I hadn't studied it yet. I pushed both loaves to the farthest, darkest corner, but then I realized it was probably going to smell really bad in a couple of days, so I pulled them back and put them under Tiffany's bed instead. What? She would have done the same thing to me. And you know what? It totally worked. After a week, my GPA shot back up with the help of the moldiest bread ever. The downside? Tiffany gave me the silent treatment for over a week after she found it growing under her bed. Not that I cared, since she never really said anything of interest to me anyway. Did I care about the dance team? No. Did I care about who she was dating? No. Did I care that she was caught sneaking out of the house twice in 1 week? Sort of, but mostly no. And trust me, the silent treatment was worth it because my grades were better than ever, and nothing could bring them down again, except for one thing. Now, grades are important, but family's important too. And Maggie is all about herself, her grades, everything she likes, everything she wants to do, everything she thinks. Okay. Well, it's hard to admit there was one subject at school I didn't dominate: gym class. It just wasn't my thing. And usually my gym teachers let me get away with not doing too much. And lately, it had been especially easy because my teacher was going to have a baby, and as she got bigger and bigger, we did less and less. One day, she even let us read and said we were exercising our eyeballs, which I loved. I probably burned 4,000 eyeball calories that day. She wasn't even due until June, which meant it was smooth sailing to the end of the year. That was until she went into labor early, and life as I knew it was over. After my gym teacher went on maternity leave, my class joined Coach Eastbrook's class. Coach Eastbrook was the track coach, and he ran everywhere, including to school. I'm serious. He ran to school every day, and every day my bus passed him, and every day I thought, that guy is nuts. Even more nuts, he made his students run an entire mile every day. I couldn't even walk for 2 minutes without getting winded. There was no way I was going to deal with this, so I did what any rational human being would do. I lied. At dinner, the night before my first day in his class, I told Mom I wasn't feeling well. She felt my forehead and said it wasn't warm, but I swore I was getting sick and that it was probably really serious. To convince her I did something I never did, I skipped dessert. When she got out the ice cream, I politely declined. I don't want any. Really? Geez, don't act so surprised. I just don't like it. But you never say no to ice cream. Is everything okay? I don't feel good. It's probably the flu or mono or the plague. Well, let's get you to bed. Hopefully you'll feel better in the morning. She bought it. I climbed into bed, which was exactly where I wanted to be, because I'd hidden a few Chips Ahoy cookies under my pillow earlier in preparation for skipping dessert. When I woke up the next morning, Mom had a note saying I could stay home if I wasn't feeling well, but I couldn't stay home because I had a feeling there was going to be a pop quiz in my science, and my pop quiz intuition was never wrong. So I figured I'd go to school, ace the quiz, and then check out right before sixth period gym. It was the perfect plan. And aha, there was a pop quiz, and I aced it. In between classes, I called Mom, but she didn't answer because she was always too busy to answer her phone at work, even though I was her daughter and needed her more than anyone else, especially at that very moment. So I called Dad, who was deep into double jeopardy. I could tell because of how he answered the phone. Where is Beirut? Hey, Dad, I don't feel good. Can I check out of school? Where is Beijing? Dad, listen, I need to check out of school. Quick, Maggie, name some other B cities. Boise, Belfast, Bangalore. He finally paid attention. Those are good. What's up? I need to come home. I'm really sick. Oh, Mags, I'm sorry. Yes, I was home free. But I don't think Mom can come get you. Sure you can't tough it out? You only have a couple hours left. I have to come home now, I insisted. I'm too sick to go to the gym class. Well, how about I call your teacher and tell him to let you sit it out until you're feeling better? Whew. I gave him the school number, thanked him, and gave him Berlin for Final Jeopardy. I was all smiles as I changed into in the bathroom stall with the door locked. My gym clothes were already underneath my school clothes, so it didn't take long, and I didn't even put on socks because who needs socks to read? Not me. I found my favorite spot on the bleachers, opened my book to my bookmark, and dug into a midsummer night's dream. I was in the thick of Act 2 when Coach Eastbrook jogged over. "Hey, Maggie, why aren't you in formation with the troops?" What was this? Boot camp? Didn't you talk to my dad? I'm too sick to run today. Yeah, I did, and we agreed a good run is exactly what you need. Do you know endorphins have healing powers? I counted on dodging this draft just like Dad. I can't run, I'll die. In 20 years of teaching, no one has ever died on me. Come on, he said with a wave. How is this happening? He led me to the gym door and out onto the track where the rest of my class was stretching. I put the air brakes on my heels. I can't, Coach. I conscientiously object. He reached for my hand, which I was pretty sure was illegal. A mile is just 4 little laps, Maggie. 4 laps. I couldn't run 4 laps. And then he let out an ungodly whistle. And then everyone took off running, including me. Because when you see a group of people running, you run too. Every step was instantly excruciating. And not just because my lungs were about to explode, but because I wasn't wearing any socks. In a few minutes, I was sure paramedics would be carrying me off the field, and they'd be horrified to find my heels completely rubbed raw. I'd live the rest of my life without heels, which meant I would have to tiptoe everywhere, which meant people would think I was reaching for something when I wasn't. Until the day I died, I'd live as if every single thing was just out of my reach. I could feel the speed of other kids lapping me once, twice, 3 times. A whole gaggle of boys finished all 4 laps before I was halfway through one. I stared at my feet, willing them to go further and faster, but all they could muster was a chug, a very slow chug. I was just about to give up completely when Mary Winter came jogging across the center of the track toward me. Great, just what I needed during my darkest half hour. I couldn't believe how perfect she looked. She had just run a mile and looked like she was going to prom. Perfect hair, perfect ponytail, perfect smile, smiling perfectly. She ran up next to me. Then the weirdest thing ever happened. She tried to help me. "Hey, Maggie," she said perfectly. "You don't look so good." I was out of breath. My brain couldn't pull together a comeback or an insult or even a fact about how I was probably going to die. She jogged in place next to me, which was strange because I thought I was actually making progress, but she was moving faster than me and she wasn't going anywhere. She reached back and adjusted her ponytail. I talked to Coach and he said I could give you a few pointers. I tried to run away, but well, I couldn't. I tried ignoring her, but she just kept jibber-jabbing. "You're running all hunched over. It's wasting a lot of your energy. You need to push your shoulders back, pretend like there's a triangle on your lower back, pulling you up." She pulled my shoulders back, and I almost jumped out of my skin. My fight or flight reflexes kicked into flight, but my legs wouldn't let me, so I fought with words instead. "I know how to run. Every species does." "Oh, well, it will be a lot easier if you suck in your diaphragm and breathe through your nose. That's what my dad always says. He runs all the time." I was trapped. So I did what any animal would have done if it was backed up against a wall. I sucked in my diaphragm and breathed through my nose. Her pointers helped for about 5 whole seconds, and then I couldn't run anymore, so I yelled, "I can't run anymore." "Don't stop. If you stop, you'll never start again." I slowed to a snail's pace. "I can't do it anymore." She ran in front of me, turned around, and locked eyes with me, still running. You can do it, Maggie. I know you can. You just need to stop focusing on the pain. My thoughts raced 10,000 times faster than my feet. What was this girl talking about? How did she know I could keep going? Why was her ponytail so perfect? Seriously, not a hair out of place. Come on, match your pace with mine, and we'll be done in no time. Was this girl joking? I wanted to stop, not run faster. I tried to imagine there was a piping hot glazed donut waiting for me at the finish line, but then I immediately got a cramp in my side. Mary was still jogging backward ahead of me. It hurts. I'm stopping. Don't stop. Quick. What's your favorite song? What? Who would ask a question like that at a time like this? Was this a slumber party? What was next? Braiding each other's hair? Freezing our underpants? My brain was a blur of confusion and pain. The song about the states, I gasped. I don't think I know that song. Yes, you do. The song in 4th grade? Memorial Day, Spectacular? Oh, that one, really. I think I remember it. I couldn't breathe, let alone sing, but Mary sang, and she sang totally off key, which kind of made me happy. 50 nifty United States from 13 original colonies. Come on, sing with me. Helpless, I joined in. Shout 'em, scout 'em, tell 'em about 'em, one by one till we've given a day to every state in the USA. We were on our 10,000th verse when we finally finished lap 4. All of the other kids had already gone back to the locker room and were probably dressed and home and watching television with their fathers who hadn't betrayed them. Coach Eastbrook clicked his stopwatch and yelled, 29 minutes and 32 seconds. See, Maggie, you didn't die. I collapsed in the grass. Not yet. Mary sat down next to me. She reached her hand all the way down to her toes because obviously she didn't have bones. I rolled my head over in the grass. You didn't have to do that. She re-perfected her ponytail. I know. I wanted to. Then she popped up and started jogging in place again. And don't thank me yet. We have a lot more miles before the end of the semester. And then she was gone, like a perfect phantom who wore pear-scented body lotion. I couldn't believe it. I ran a mile without dying. Even more amazing, why did Mary Winter care if I lived or died? At dinner, I iced my knee because that's what real athletes do. Water dripped on the carpet, and Mom yelled, Maggie, what are you doing? I pressed another cube of ice on my other knee. I'm icing my knees. I ran a mile today. You're supposed to put the ice in a bag. Duh, Tiffany sighed. You're such a dork. I was just about to throw the half-melted ice cube at her when Mom interrupted. You ran a whole mile today? I thought you didn't feel good. Well, my throat is still sore. I coughed a little. But I just pushed through it. Like father, like daughter, Dad said. What was your time? 20 minutes? Give or take 9 minutes? Tiffany laughed. Slugs run faster than that. I had had enough of her, so I ran to my room and slammed the door much harder than a slug ever could. For some reason, she followed me. Get out of my room, I yelled. This is my room, too, she yelled back. Why are you such a jerk? Why are you such a dork? Calm down. I threw my pillow and just missed her head. It wasn't an accident. It was a warning shot. Hey, it's not my fault. You're a disgrace to our entire family. I threw another pillow and didn't miss. Oh, like you are every Friday night? She lunged at me. I lunged at her. Mom rushed in and pulled us apart. What's going on in here? We both pointed at each other. She started it. We yelled at the same time. Dad rolled into the room. Or he rolled in as far as he could. without rolling into a sea of dirty clothes. I didn't care who did what or who told on who. All I'm going to say is, Maggie, I can't believe you ran a mile. Mom hit him on the arm to remind him we were in trouble. Dad laughed. I'm serious. I've never seen her walk fast. You're one to talk, I said under my breath. Mom gave me a look. Hey, what's the house rule? You're the only one allowed to make fun of Dad, I said. Mom crossed her arms. And don't forget it. Can I go now? Tiffany huffed. No. Mom wheeled Dad away and turned around. No one is leaving until someone says she's sorry, and then she shut the door. I crawled into bed and mummified myself in my blanket. Tiffany came over and shoved me. I didn't move a muscle. She shoved me again. Just apologize so we can leave. I ripped the blanket off. Apologize to you? You're the one ruining my life. Whatever. I didn't even believe you ran that far anyway. Well, you can ask Mary Winter because she ran with me. Mary Winter? Bo's sister? Isn't she, popular? Yeah, so what? So why would she talk to you? I don't know. Why does her brother swap spit with you? Hey, that's none of your business. Then stop making it my business. She stormed out of the room, and I yelled after her, Apology accepted. 2 days later in gym class, I secured 3 layers of Band-Aids on my heels and carefully positioned my socks, and then I put on another pair of socks just in case. I walked out of the room, through the gym, and onto the track, certain I was going to have to go it alone today. No way would Mary Winter want to help me 2 classes in a row. But she did. Hey, Maggie, what are we singing today? I shook my head. It's okay, you don't have to run with me anymore. She leaned down and tightened her laces. Why not? I leaned down and tightened my laces too because it looked professional. And then I thought, since I was down here, I might as well pull up my bootstraps too. Because this is my fight, Mary, not yours. I patted her on the shoulder, saluted, and took my place on the track. I had to prove to myself that I could do it. I gazed around the track and visualized it as Scranton. I visualized it as a Scantron that I was about to fill in with every right answer. My feet would be my number 2 pencil. Scantrons are the way we used to take tests. You would fill in the bubbles, and then they'd put it through a machine, and it would be graded right away. Hey, I get it if you don't want to run together, but maybe after class, you can talk me through our science homework. I'm lost. My mind wanted to tell her to go away, but my feet, legs, and spleen remembered the pain of trying to run by myself. Maybe it was okay to need someone's help. Just this once. That might be a really important line in this book. I'm going to read it again. Maybe it's okay to need someone's help. I scooted over and made room for her next to me on the track. We can talk about it while we run. I have it memorized. So we ran and we sang, and I almost died once, and then I recovered, and then I dropped some knowledge about mitochondria, and then I almost threw up, and then I got a cramp, and then I remembered the triangle on my lower back, and then we had 3 more laps to go. And I realized that maybe Mary Winter wasn't out to get me. Maybe she wasn't being mean with the flower back in February. Maybe she wasn't trying to ruin my life. Maybe she was just nice. Maybe it was okay if Clyde liked her. Maybe we were friends. And that is the end of chapter 14. Come back tomorrow for chapter 15.